Hi everybody, this is Millie. Welcome to Millie's Meal Planning on a Budget. You know, there is no better time to make soup than when it's cold and raining outside. And today happens to be one of those rainy days. So today I want to share with you my Italian meatball soup recipe. So here I have half an onion and I slice it in small pieces. So I have the onion sauteing. And to this I want to add a pinch of black pepper. And then I'm also going to add a pinch of red pepper flakes. You know, the pepper flakes give it that extra kick. Not too spicy. And to this I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. This is garlic powder. A little bit of onion powder. And I'm also going to add a little bit of paprika for a little bit of color. All the spices are gonna bloom a little bit. They're going to let out all that flavor. So here I have 2 celery stalks, 2 carrots, and I chopped them very small because I want them to cook at the same time. Want all those flavors to marry. So here I have a small can of diced tomatoes and garden chili. It smells so good already. And I'm also going to add a little bit of this Knorr. It has tomato flavor and it's chicken flavor. It's very distinctive. So I'm going to add the chicken Knorr. So I have the heat on medium because I want everything to cook slowly. Now here I also have 1 potato. And the potato is also chopped very small. So as you can see, everything is chopped pretty much the same size. Now here I have, this is the chicken broth that I always make. And I always freeze it, and what I do is I take it out of the freezer and I defrost it in the refrigerator, and then I take it out when I'm ready to use it. So since I have the potatoes in here, I'm going to put the chicken broth cold, and I want everything to start cooking at the same time. I like to make sure that I always have chicken broth because I use it for rice, for soup, for beans. I use it all the time. So this is something that I always have in the freezer. So now I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. And I put half a teaspoon now and then I'll taste it later. But I want to make sure that it doesn't turn out too salty. And you know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit of oregano. Now I'm going to cover it and let everything simmer. And I always leave the pot a little bit open because I want to make sure that once it starts boiling, it doesn't spill all over the stove. So the vegetables have been simmering. But now what I'm going to do is, here I have a can of these northern beans. So they're white beans. And I strain them and I rinse them. And now I'm going to add them to the mixture. And this is going to give it a very good flavor. And you know, they say that beans are very good for you. So I figure if it's good for you, why not do it, right? Okay, and here I also have 3 cloves of garlic. So I minced the garlic, and now I'm going to add it to the mixture. And then I'm also going to add some water. Here I have 2.5 cups, but I don't think I'm going to add the whole thing. And this is something that you could just eye this because you don't want it too watery. And the pot is not too big. So I'm just gonna let everything simmer, and I'm going to cover it again and let everything marry and all those flavors to grab, and it's smelling so delicious. Okay, so now it's time to add the meatballs. Now, this is something that I buy at Costco. This is a huge bag of meatballs, and I like to buy it because I use it for so many things. I use it for appetizers, I use it for spaghetti, and I use it for soup. And I'm going to be sharing some of those recipes with you. So now I'm going to add the meatballs to the vegetables. And the meatballs are very small, and they are pre-cooked, and they are frozen. So all I have to do is add them to the broth and let everything simmer. I want all those flavors that I put in the vegetables, I want all those flavors to get into the meatballs. And this is something that is going to be amazing. My family loves this recipe. I tell you, there are a lot of things I love to do, but my two favorite things are cooking and painting. So if you don't see me cooking, you'll see me painting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I seal this again so I could put it in the freezer until next time. So everything has been simmering very nicely. The meatballs are grabbing all the flavors that I added to all the vegetables. And since the broth is boiling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of pasta. It's a cup of pasta. I like to add, you see this pasta, it looks like little screws, and you could add whatever kind of pasta you want. Actually, if you have cooked pasta, you could add it to this. So it doesn't have to be uncooked. So I'm going to add the pasta now. And this is going to take about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to let everything simmer. And I'm going to cover it. So you see, this is different stages, but there is nothing like homemade soup. And although this is kind of semi-homemade because the meatballs were already pre-cooked. Okay, so the soup is almost done. Here I have some cilantro. And you could add parsley to this instead. I just love the flavor of cilantro with soup. And it doesn't matter what kind of soup. I love to add cilantro to my chicken noodle soup or vegetable soup. I just love the flavor of cilantro. So I'm going to chop it nicely. And now I'm just going to add it to the soup. Then I'll mix it. And something fresh. You know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit of lime. And let me taste it to make sure that it's seasoned correctly. It's good. But you know what? I think I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Soup, it's done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve it. I'm going to get a little bit of everything. Soup looks amazing. So there you have it. This is the Italian meatball soup. Let me sprinkle a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay. And let's taste it. You know, the meatballs, if you want to, you could just cut them in half. I mean, they aren't too big, but they're a good size. You could cut them in half if you want to. So now let me try the meatball. Actually, you know what? Let me try it with a little bit of everything. A little bit of noodle, a little bit of carrots. Let's see. It's hot. This is amazing. It's hearty, it's warming. The weather is calling for this nice hearty soup. And with this, on a nice cozy day, a nice bowl of soup, a nice glass of wine, salute. This is very good. Try this. I know if you try it, you're gonna love it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.